Are you able? You're able
Yes.
to see the screen?
Yeah, we are on the screen. We can see everything.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to do we're going to start with SharePoint, some very simple tools here, and then I'll go through some of the deeper feature set. So this is a job as an example. It's a file folder, the same way that you would have a file folder on your C drives or D drives. The difference is that this is web accessible. It's browser-based. So that means that anywhere in the world, you're going to be able to access, provided that you have internet access, you'll be able to pull up the documents for the project. When I click down, it goes into the next layer. This should be familiar to you. I believe it's what you have today. You click into like admin, and then we have subfolders. They'll go into scope, and then you'll have like some of the scope documents. So this should be identical to what you have. How you add documents, you push this button that says Add Document. You can do multiple, or you can click on Browse, and then you can go find a particular document. Let's grab Add Document, and you click OK, and it takes it off of your C drive and D drive, and it stores it in this repository. This repository here is actually stored on SQL Server, so it's backed up every night. So that means you could technically delete the file that was on your desktop.
When you said it'll move, it's not actually moving the file off your hard drive and putting
No,
it's putting a copy of it.
It's putting a copy right now. It just copies it, and at that point you can decide whether you really need to keep a copy locally or just keep it here, as it will be accessible to everybody on the network and accessible remotely. Some things you might say, no, I don't want to deploy on here. So in some companies, what they do is they'll say, only things that I actually need outside of my firewall, I'm going to store there. Other things we'll keep internally. So it depends maybe on the sensitivity of the document. It's up to you. But the ability here is you can add documents. You click on Load Multiple Documents. Click on Browse, and then you can hit the Control key, and you can grab a couple at the same time. Or in this Browse section, you can, if you had another window, you just drag and drop, and it loads it in. Sorry. SharePoint does not like symbols. It doesn't like and, percent, or dollars, or quotes in the name of the document. It will fail if you try to load it. And it's because it's loading into the SQL Server, and the SQL Server doesn't like those things because they mean something at the SQL level.
Like dashes?
The dashes are fine. Like you can see, I have dashes here. But it'll tell you, like when you try to load it, it'll say this document failed as a result. There's also file size limitations that are set up at the SQL level. So I think the limit is 25 megs per file, and we can expand that if desired. But it will also fail or reject based on like a maximum size.
So there is a maximum size?
You can increase it. I'm just saying
we
there
have some manuals. Yeah. MRB.
You get over?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Our MRB manual is like 150 megs, 200 megs.
And it would be something you'd want in here instead of internally only?
Well, that's a question I guess, John. Will we keeping files internal as well as on SharePoint?
No, I mean anything related to a project should be in the project folder, which is here.
When you say here, you're referring to SharePoint.
Yeah,
okay.
So we'll have to expand this one.
that's it. So whatever it is, just got to figure out what the maximum is and expand it. When you are, I'll just go back to here, maybe, or even here. You can, under the library setting, this is a great feature. If you're not that comfortable with the web format, you can switch to the Explorer view. And the Explorer view it looks like Explorer, it works like Explorer. You can drag and drop entire folder structures. So it's not that big of a deal for you to move your entire job folder as it sits today into the job in CRM. It will.
We use the link that's currently in the Explorer window, or if you go to that web view, just copy paste link for somebody else.
Yeah, let's do one together. So I'm going to make a new folder. This won't be how you do it in the production environment, but this is just test. So project ABC. That creates a folder. I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to go to the Explore mode. Now this is opening up the URL. Now, if I can figure it out, I have to go to, I'm not used to the Windows, I have to get to Explorer, the regular Explorer.
The bottom one there, the third one from the bottom.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I have two things open, and I have to go find, I don't know where you keep your projects.
Or
P? Projects? Right, and I don't know how big this is. I'll just grab a couple. And we'll copy. And we'll paste. But you would have copied the whole thing and brought it over. So it'll just take...
Depending on how big
Yeah, I didn't know
that
You
you
picked
copied.
a big one there, buddy. 100 plus meg.
So your transition shouldn't take, like, other than the processing time, your transition should be same day, kind of thing. You just flip over and say, hey, we're going live with document control on this job. And away you go. Wow, that's a big one. Yeah, you might want to cancel that probably. Okay, we're going to cancel it. And all it would do is it would fill it in here, and then all of a sudden it fills it in here as well. So you can work in either environment, whatever is more comfortable for you. You can even save when I go back into that Explore mode. Some people, they just prefer to have little folders on their desktop the way that it works with Explore.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't even worry about this web version. Just that they know that centrally all their information is being stored. Now, another really powerful tool is the ability to connect to Outlook. Now, I don't think you have Outlook here on this. Can you sign in with your Outlook?
Were they successful with that? I think they were having trouble with it. I can't remember if it got resolved or not.
All right. What you do is you click on this button, and what will happen is that all the files will sync to your Outlook. It'll make a folder inside of your Outlook. And therefore, the files you have local copies on your drive and centralized documents here, and it syncs any updates automatically. So if a file is updated from someone else, you'll get a local file synced to your Outlook locally.
Oh, so it's going to create a mirrored copy
copy.
Whatever folder
Yeah, like
in Outlook.
in Outlook. So you might not have enough drive space,
No.
that's number one.
Well, my computer has it.
But you also might be, I don't know, out in Fort McMurray and you don't have email access. So you might want to synchronize your file folders before you go. And it'll just pull the latest copies, and then any editing that you do there will get loaded back when you come back.
So do you have control of the documents then if you do that?
You're
basically checking them out.
Yeah. Well, you can check them back and you can move versions back in.
But what if okay, so it's version control then.
Yes.
Oh, that was, okay.
But Mike, when you said it'll update them when you come back, what happens if someone else has made a change to the file in the meantime?
First come, first served, like it goes Rev 1,
Yeah.
Rev 2, so
And I think it's a little bit, it's not so much when you get back, but when you get back online.
online.
Yeah.
So you'll have to work through that particular process. But the nice thing is that, especially if it's a Windows document, so So like an Office document, if it's a Word document or an Excel document, you'll get all the super powerful search capabilities inside of your Outlook. Just type in, oh, I remember that in this document we talked about a specification XYZ, and it'll scan through. Outlook is able to scan through all the contents of those Office documents as well. So it makes finding information much, much better when you're connected here. The other key things would be, I'll just go into, I don't know, quality, I don't know, NCRs. You'll see here, you see how I have these different columns? You can add more columns that allow you better searching within SharePoint. This technically gives you the ability to flatten your file folder structure. So if you're really disciplined about putting the right document into the right folder, great. You can keep doing that. But if you have a tough time managing, well, you saw here I had to go down how many levels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes if people are lazy or maybe not diligent enough, they stop at the second level because it's at the job or into the general folder, but they don't go down to categorize it. So what you're able to do in SharePoint in general is that you can create what are called meta tags. Meta tags are a file. It's kind of like your iTunes library, where you have your Saturday night music mix versus your country and western. It just helps to find things. And so you'll see this button here called Create Columns. The columns are used to, I'll just do something simple like type. Type of NCR document. And I'll make it a choice. First choice is a picture. Second choice is a form. Third choice is, I don't know, a drawing, as an example. And I want them to be drop-downs. And I can force people to fill that out when they upload a document. So now it adds a column over here. Now I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go into this data view mode, which is a different way of editing. And now it's kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. I can fill out, maybe that's not a picture. That's a form, that's a drawing. And the rest here are pictures. Oops. You can even drag that down if you had to do a lot. If you had to do a lot, okay. If you had to organize your whole, 900,000 documents. When you switch back here, it's filled out for you. And now you can use this column to say, well, show me all the pictures, show me all the drawings, show me all the folders. Now this functionality that you see here, it only works at a folder level. So if you flatten all of your folders, then you can use these other columns the same way you would use a database or a spreadsheet to find things faster. So what kind of document in general? Is it an NCR document? Is it a policy? Is it a procedure? And then maybe a subtype of that. So instead of having your file folders, you could use these meta tags to help you sort and find information. You could also use modify view. You can save views, preferred views, so that if you're always looking for pictures, you have the show me all the picture drop down. So that's, you could also use, I don't know if you have to do submittal of drawings or packages.
Yep.
So in most companies, they'll get, I don't know where the submittal is on here.
Well, we put them in there under document control,
Yeah,
and then you'll find transmittals, and that's where submittals would go.
okay. So in here, typically what you do is you're going to have